Going on, fellas?
Oh, we in there. We live now. Look, we live now. Let's get to it.
Hey family, you're tuning in to the Jimmy Bonds podcast on Philadelphia Radio. Pardon any technical difficulties as we're recording live on the Zoom platform. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Jimmy. Okay. Lights, camera, action. Some people thought I quit and I ain't giving satisfaction. From a different era, writing rhymes up on napkins. What you had to say was more important, man, than trapping. Yeah, I'm talking back.
What's good, family, and welcome to another episode of Jimmy Bonds Podcast on Philadelphia Radio. This episode is sponsored by Major Flavor Catering. I'm your host, Jimmy Bonds, along with my co-host, Ty T.Y. What's good, Ty? How you feeling?
All good in the neighborhood, JB. Live from 215.
Live from the 215. You know how we do. You know we can't forget my other co-host, love you, Miss Lucy. She's not here with us today, but she always here with us in spirit. Moving right along, family. Remember, you can call us with your comments or questions at 844-844-1244. Again, that's 844-844-1244. You can also email us at jimmybondspodcast@gmail.com. Again, it's jimmybondspodcast@gmail.com. It's JIMMYBONDS podcast@gmail.com. Also, family, remember, you can follow us on Instagram at Jimmy Bonds Podcast, on Twitter at Podcast Bonds, and make sure you join the Jimmy Bond Podcast Facebook group. Let's continue to open the dialogue. Moving right along, family. Tonight, we have a special guest, special guest. Someone I'm so excited to have on the show tonight. She is doing her thing, Miss Shannon White. Family, I have to introduce you to her, and I'm going to tell you beforehand that her introduction is limited because she has done so much. I couldn't fit it all in the introduction. But anyway, let's get to it, all right? Awesome. Miss Shannon White is native of Philly. She has spent many years in the hair and makeup industry building her name and building her brand. In 2017, she opened up her own salon, the Salon at SLW, where she specializes in precision cutting, coloring, scalp treatment for hair growth, and the latest makeup and hair trends. She has worked on numerous weddings, photo shoots, fashion shows, and movie sets as the head of the hair department. She has worked on many films you might know, such as Knock at the Cabin, starring Batista, Christmas with You, starring Amy Garcia and Freddie Perez Jr., as well as The Rittenhouse, starring Nick Nolte, just to name a few. She's a hairstylist, a makeup artist, a salsa dancer, a health enthusiast, a networker, a real estate investor, and a mom. I like to describe her as professional, versatile, adaptive, fierce, motivating, perceptive, insightful, gifted, gracious, and humble. Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce you to Miss Shannon White of SLW Salon. What's up, Miss Shannon? How you doing?
Hello,
Welcome to the show.
Welcome to the Thank you so much. That was an amazing introduction. Thank you so much.
Oh, listen, you're so welcome. And as I said before, family, this woman has done it. I couldn't fit everything in there what she's already done. So we're gonna cover it on the show anyway. Brother Ty, go ahead with the first question, bro.
Miss Shannon, how are you doing today?
I'm good. I'm a little nervous. I don't know what these questions are going to be like, but
no need for that. No need for that. So, does your background in biology play a role in your cosmetology?
I think so. Yes. I think it helps with my creativity, especially like when I'm in the salon, when I do that, when I'm not on set, I'm like making oils or concocting something for someone's hair, to make sure that their hair is being treated a certain way. So yeah, definitely.
Now, do you create your own oils depending on the client that you have? Like you create different things for them?
Yes, I have. And I started a line before. I didn't really keep up with that because I'm just a little too busy once the set life started picking up for me. That's something I'm definitely going to revisit, is on my vision board. So it'll be coming out soon once I get everything in a row, my ducks in a row.
Okay. All right. JB?
Yeah, I mean, when I met Shannon, she was telling me about something she was doing had nothing to do with beauty. So I was like, oh, okay, really? What? You what? She was like, yeah, Jay, I work I do movie sets too. I'm like, you do movie sets? Oh, what? This is crazy. Hold on. So you tell me this, Shannon. In the industry that you're in, do you think it's more important about look or reputation?
For myself or for the client?
Just in general, because somebody can see something, some work you've done,
Hmm.
and they say, "Oh, that's great," but sometimes your work ethic and how you do your work is more important. You know what I mean? Would you say that like your reputation is more important than say the look of someone?
I think that people come to you based on like your personality and the things that you do for them, opposed to your skill set. So, the skill set might not be, I know I'm not the best in Philly with certain things, but, people will come to me because they feel comfortable. They feel like, I'll treat them a certain way.
Yeah,
It's a family oriented type of a salon. So they'll come in and they're comfortable eating,
yeah.
drinking, and we're just having good conversation
Well,
while they're
as you
getting
said,
styled or getting their hair done.
they're having a good time. I mean, and I
They're
think
having
that's
a good
most
time.
important. The experience of the salon, I think, is probably more important than just how the hair comes out. You know what I mean, and how they look when they leave. Well, tell me this. I mean, I don't know if I'd be one of your clients. I don't have any hair, so I just don't know. But I mean,
Do you
when
have
they
to
walk
shave
in,
it? Might have to do a little shave, and that was one of
I
the
do a
things.
little touch up. I'll let nobody touch my hair now. I'll let nobody touch. There's nobody can touch my hair now. I don't, you know what I mean. But I'm just playing. I'm playing. Um, when they walk in, right? When you have a client walk in, what's your goal when they leave?
I want them to feel good. That's the number one thing. I want them to feel good. I want them to feel relaxed.
Yeah.
Most of the time. Actually, my first salon was called Shampoo, and it was
Okay.
named after a person who called me Shampoo. I started out shampooing as an assistant, and they wouldn't call me Shannon anymore. They would call me Shampoo because they loved the way I shampooed. So if I don't have an assistant that day, or if I gotta jump in and shampoo, they're super happy. They're like, "Oh, she's shampooing my hair today." Yes, like I'm gonna get that scalp treatment. I'm gonna be in the bowl sleep. So that's one of the
Yeah.
things that they look forward to.
Like they don't call her Shannon, they call her shampoo. Don't worry, I can call you shampoo because you definitely Shannon now. You definitely doing Shannon now. I mean, you talked about like you said you started out doing, shampooing. Can you talk a little bit about like, your way around the salon, your way around the environment. How important is that to kind of like earn your stripes in the industry? Because some people think I just do hair and I'm just gonna jump out there and do it. How important do you think earning your stripes in the industry is?
It's about networking. So I think that's part of earning your stripes when you look at your peers as your network across the board. You can start. I've built a lot of connections and things like that with just dealing with my clients and being able to move, further and further that way.
Mm.
So, earning your stripes in the salon and moving your way around and just getting to know people on a deeper level, I think that helps out a lot. I don't know if they answered your question, but
Oh no, it does because it segues to another question I had. And I'm not trying to just throw questions at you. Like that's not the way I like to do it. But
Mhm.
you talked about something that I thought was real interesting because when I think of a hairstylist or makeup artist or someone who does it, you are very intimate with your clients. I mean, extremely intimate because I mean, now you're just not doing hair. And I don't mean intimate like lovemaking. I mean intimate like spiritually. You're talking to them. You know what I mean? They're talking to you. Do you view your job as more than a stylist?
I put something on my Instagram the other day about having a few younger children starting out with me, like their mom will bring them, and now they're like graduated from college. I'm sure I'm not showing my age. Um, One that's like just turned 17, and I feel like I think I'm lost my thought a little bit. Um, I feel like that intimacy means a lot. I feel like once I'm doing someone's hair, they're coming to me for their prom, or they're coming to me for their wedding or something like that, and I feel a part of their life. Like they have their pictures up, and I just love making someone feel good. and feeling like, oh, this is my big day, and my hair and my makeup is beautiful, and they never forget that. So I feel like that is the intimate part.
Yeah, that's real intimate. I've I've had to take my ex woman or woman I was dating to the salon before, and I know how the environment is. It's a very it's a very talkative. Women talk, as they say. And I don't mean to be sexist. I'm just saying women talk. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I always found it interesting because you hold so many secrets. You know what I mean? You hold so many things that people don't know about this particular person. They come talk to you about it. You know what I mean? How they're feeling, what they're feeling, happy, sad, indifferent, whatever it may be. They are exposing themselves to you. So in a sense, you're kind of like a therapist as well. You know what I mean?
Bartender, a therapist, everybody just come and unload. I do have some of those ones that are, that I know I can unload to. So
Okay.
that's what I mean. Like we have such an intimate relationship. Some of those people have become my friends,
Yeah.
and it just works both ways.
And that's what I was gonna say. With all that dumping, it's who do you give it to? You know what I mean?
Calling up the therapist, like, help me with some of this stuff.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Ty, you got one, bro?
Yes. Shannon, you Zen Beauty luxury hair mobile servicing. What are the
Okay,
pros and cons? Yeah. What are the pros and cons with mobile servicing as a stylist?
your timing has to be kind of impeccable because it's like you have to factor in your driving to this place. You got to figure out parking. We call it schlepping because you have to have like
Schlepping.
your kit and you got something on your back. You got this bag, and you're going up maybe to an apartment. You might be up to a big mansion and you're trying to, figure your way out. So it's a lot, have your navigation on point in your time and make sure you have some snacks if anybody needs to know. You're going in between clients, you're like, oh my gosh, I'm starving. But if it's like something that a big event, a lot of times they host and they have food and stuff like that. So and that's another way you get to meet people. It's like I've met so many people just like going different places in different areas. Is I'm really fortunate for that. Yeah.
Do you recommend someone starting out with a mobile service or a brick and mortar?
Nowadays I think if you cannot have a brick and mortar, that's great. You don't have that overhead. Of course, you're going to have some cost, but if you can move around with less expense, then, go ahead. Like, it's because it's definitely a market. There's a lot of women and men that don't want to, they're busy as well. And they're like, okay, like for instance, you guys, can you come to the studio before I go on my podcast and, give me a shave or, hook my skin up.
Mhm.
So it's very convenient. People are taking advantage of that.
Don't worry, kid. I got your number, Shannon. I'll call you. We can make that. Yeah. Make sure you get my good side though, just the good side. Make sure you're not no bad side. One of the things that I wanted to ask, I wanted to find out was, what's up with salsa dancing? Listen. I was like, what?
Yama mami.
Let me find out. Let me find out.
Muy bien.
That's great.
Get Ty over there shaking. Get it, Ty. Get it, Ty.
That came from, I see you gotta get the hips in there. That actually came from a breakup. So once I just really needed to find something that I love to do and I didn't have to do with someone, because a lot of times you might just be in a house like, oh, I'm gonna run out, and then you're calling up a friend like, hey, you want to go out? No, I don't want, I don't got no money, or I'm doing this, or, it was something that once I did go out a few times and I've learned a few moves or whatever, I would be able to go back because it was like a community of people that was probably always there. And I got used to dancing with a couple guys. And at the time I just wanted the connection, the dopamine that, go out and dance. The guys weren't like trying to hit on me. They just wanted to dance too. I mean, some of them did, but it wasn't like it wasn't terrible. It was just like I was able to go out and dance and go home, shower, and go to sleep and not worry about the breakup. And it just flourished. And I love it. I love it.
So
I'm
it was like
actually going to Mexico in August, and it's just going to be like dance
Muy
world.
bien, mommy. Muy bien.
they're gonna be looking at her like, who is this girl doing this day? Oh my goodness.
I would
That's
love
what's
for
up.
more Black people to get involved in it because it's really fun.
Look, I ain't afraid to salsa dance. I try it out. I do it in a heartbeat. Like let's go. Like let's get it. I ain't got the shoes
Okay.
enough. I'll find the shoes. We go. Let's get it. Can I wear the tight pants too? Can I wear the pants? As long as I can wear the pants.
Make
I'm
sure
cool.
they're comfortable. You be in there with your skinny jeans on, like.
Hey, you had to go home after that. Definitely. And look, I'm gonna ask one question. Then we gonna take a break real quick. So we when we first met, we talked about your real estate venture and how that kind of started off and how you got into it.
Yeah.
Can you talk about how, like, you're a busy woman. You got movie sets, you got clients, you got a whole bunch of stuff you're doing. How has that, your real estate, how has that helped you kind of facilitate your dreams further? Because I don't think anybody sets out to be like, I'm going to just do one thing and that's what I'm going to do the rest of my life. So how has that kind of helped you, I guess, come full circle in what you're doing? You know what I mean?
I feel like if you don't figure out where your base is going to be, or build a foundation or a nest egg, whatever you might want to call it, then it doesn't really allow, well, for me, it didn't allow me to be as creative anymore. It was like my creativity felt like it was just going down the drain because I'm trying to service. How many people can I get in the day? Let me run down, let me go to New York and let me do this, do this commercial or whatever may be the case. And I just wasn't focused on creating like I wanted to. And the crazy thing is, real estate can be very creative. I always kind of wanted to do it, but I feel like it's also building a nice nest egg for me so that I can continue to do hair and makeup at my leisure, the way that I see myself doing it. I feel like at some point I would love to work on a Marvel. I think I told you that Marvel movie. So I did just apply for the union. There's a hair and makeup union that they have. They have one on the East Coast and West Coast. They're two separate ones. And I just applied for this one over here. And I guess wish me luck, because it's like they want your blood when you apply. So in about 8 weeks, I should know something. And then I'll be able to do, I can do some union movies, but I have to get waived in. So, I'll be able to do really anything, any kind of blockbuster movie. That's one of my dreams. And then I could be creative.
And then you can be creative.
I'm creative now, but I really feel like I can really just immerse myself in that because I have these other things that have built the nest egg for me.
I can completely relate because I feel like lately my creativity has been like, well, I can't find it. I'm looking for it. And, because of, like you say, you're always servicing somebody. You're always taking care of someone else. You forget to really dive into that creative side. That's part of who you are. You know what I mean? Right. It's a part of your identity. But unless you can get to it, it's hard to even kind of facilitate it. So, like you said, like having something solidified will allow you to be more creative. And I feel like I'm the same way with Taff. I feel like that's with the podcast. I'm gonna keep working on it. Keep working on it. Once we get solidified, I can go do something else. You know what I mean? I can go focus on what it is, what else I want to focus on. And
right.
Because nowadays you can't just have one talent. You got to have a couple different things in the fire moving, so that you can get to where you want to go. You spoke about vision boards earlier. And I think that's one of our guests from the last guest we had was talking about vision boards. And I think we all need to have them somehow, some way, because they keep us organized and focused on what it is we want out of our life, and I got to get one too, Ty, because my board is empty. I got all these dreams, but ain't nothing. I can't see none of them. You know what I mean? But I mean, I'm just playing. I'm really joking, but I definitely understand what you mean. I definitely understand what you mean. Ty, listen, we're gonna take a quick break. All right.
Mhm.
When we come right back, we're gonna continue with Miss Shannon White from the salon at SLW doing her thing, telling us about her craft and where she's doing. Family, you know we do every day, every day. This is kind of like a spotlight on artists supporting Black business and Women's History Month all wrapped in one. So I am happy that Shannon joined the show. She's doing this. She's doing her thing. We definitely help her. We'll definitely celebrate her family. But listen, we're going to take a quick break. Remember, you can call me with your comments or questions at 844-844-1244. Again, it's 844-844-1244. You can also email us at jimmybondspodcast@gmail.com. Again, it's jimmybondspodcast@gmail.com. It's JIMMYBONDS podcast@gmail.com. You listen to the Jimmy Bonds podcast on Philadelphia Radio, the indie station for the indie nation. We'll be right back.
Hey, this is Michael from Abu Dhabi. Listen to the Jimmy Bonds podcast on Philadelphia Radio.
The drama is the illest on Philadelphia Radio. What up?
Welcome back to the Jimmy Bonds podcast on Philadelphia Radio. We thank you for listening. Remember, family, you can call us at 844-844-1244. Again, it's 844-844-1244. You can also email us at jimmybondspodcast@gmail.com. Again, it's jimmybondspodcast@gmail.com. That's JIMMYBONDS podcast@gmail.com.
And welcome back to Jimmy Bonds podcast on Philadelphia Radio. Remember, family, you call us with your comments or questions at 844-844-1244. Again, that's 844-844-1244. You can also email us at jimmybondspodcast@gmail.com. Again, that's jimmybondspodcast@gmail.com. It's JIMMYBONDS podcast@gmail.com. And again, family, we're interviewing the lovely Miss Shannon White from Salon at SLW, doing her thing, telling us about her craft, what she's doing, her experience within the industry of hair and makeup. And you know, family, it gets kind of crazy in the hair and makeup industry. I'm sure it's very cutthroat. It's not like it ain't for the timid or the weak or the timid, as I would say. So, Shannon, you know, with the many years that you spent in the game, what would you attribute to your longevity?
I guess I'm just passionate about it. That would contribute to me wanting to continue do it. And there's been times, like I said, I lost the creativity, and but it was still something inside of me that wanted it. I knew I wanted it. So I'm like, I have to figure out how I could pivot and do something a little bit different. Because, you know, it's not always about the salon or brick and mortar. There's so many different things that you can do. You could possibly be a teacher and work the hair shows, and it will really afford you to travel the world. I have so many friends that are with different companies, and they are always somewhere different. It's just amazing. You can get with a celebrity and be a personal. I thought that was something I wanted to do. That's definitely a lot of work and a lot of attention on one person. So you got to be committed. And at the time, my kids were a little younger. So I'm like, okay, no, I tried it a few times, but I'm like, that's really not my niche. But once you find, you know, there's just so many things, like you said, the concierge service or weddings, you know, there's so many different things that you could possibly do in the industry. Just be creative.
No doubt. No doubt. Now, would you say that it's hard in the industry to, would you say it's hard to make a name for yourself? Or would you say it's like one of those things where it's just like, you just got to keep at it no matter what?
I think it can, you know, it has its hard times. You do, just like anything else. I think consistency, that's one of the things that is written on my vision board, being consistent, because that will take over skill, that will take over a bunch of different things. Is if you keep doing something and you perfect it, people are going to start noticing and things are going to start changing. So,
Brother Ty.
Yes. Miss Shannon, you worked at several places. Main attraction,
I did.
fashion faces.
Yeah, I work with Fashion Faces. You know
Yes.
her.
Okay. Now, out of the several places you've been at, which one kind of gave you that motivation to like, I can do more than this, I can do better, I can take from this and go to the next level? You know, like which one kind of gave you that opportunity?
um, I'm gonna say Main Attraction
Main
because
attraction.
Kenny. I don't know if you know Kenny Duncan. He's who's the owner. He is the owner of Main
Mm.
Attraction. Him and Wayne, and
Now, where's that
he
located at again? That's
now it's in Overbrook. But when I worked there,
Overbrook.
it was
Okay.
on 52nd in between Walnut and Sampson.
That's okay. I thought that was
Yeah,
that one. Okay,
yeah,
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 that's what I'm
yeah,
thinking. Like,
yeah. That's a
okay,
classic West Philly.
yeah.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, so this where they are now is literally like right next to Overbrook, where Blue Brook
Okay.
is. So yeah, and all of the guys were super and is super creative. Some of them, like I said, worked for different companies and traveled a lot, and they still worked in the salon. I don't know, even shouting out Van the Goat. He just got like his own clippers from Babyliss, and he's doing his thing. Like I said, Kenny is the lead educator for Andis. He travels all over. He does a lot of
Mhm.
celebrities. He does a lot of the, 76ers players. He was just, where was he just at? He was just at the Super Bowl because of his career, So it's like those things really, I'm like, wait a minute. I know I wanted to travel, but like, what's going on? And, they're doing musicians and people are just walking in. I'm like, is that so and so just walked through here? So I'm like, this is awesome. So I picked up on that, and so that drive came back. The drive
Mhm.
definitely came back.
Now, what is it like working on movie sets, doing people, styling people? Is that like a whole different environment compared to like the hair
Totally
salon?
different.
Yes.
Totally different. It's pretty structured if you're on a good set. And I shouldn't say good, but I should say on a set that um because there is tiers, so it's definitely like
Yeah.
independent films. There's it goes up and up and up, and the higher it goes up, you'll be able to see the structure. And it's not always about making people beautiful. So if hairstylists or people that want to get involved, they have to realize like your creativity is definitely going to be different. You might have to do somebody that's in a bed sweating and almost half dead, or you gotta somebody that might have gotten shot, and they have blood in their hair. It's not going to be like Farrah Fawcett
Wow.
coming out of salon. So doing wigs that look like for instance, Knock at the Cabin, it was a lot of killing and stuff like that, and really had to make it look like someone's head is like split open. So it's fun. It's definitely fun. It's long hours, so you definitely have to have the some longevity for that.
Yeah.
Sometimes 12 or more hours, but it's good pay. Yeah.
She said, but the pay good though. I
It
do it for
pays
12
good.
hours. The pay right. You pay me good. I 16. I do 16. I got you.
And it
That's what's
just
up.
also is very like rewarding. M. Night was an amazing director, is an amazing director. He made sure his crew and cast was taken care of all the
Mm.
time. Like amazing. Like the food, the catering. He just didn't give you junk. It was awesome. Even like we have rap parties. So once the movie is done, they really celebrate. So he takes care of you.
Mm.
We've even had opportunity to visit his home, so and do yoga. It's just it's a lot of things that you can experience working on films.
Mm.
That's dope.
Amazing.
Take me on your first experience. Like what was it like when you doing your first movie? Like what were you thinking to yourself? Like, I'm about to go do this movie. This is the first time I'm doing a movie set. What was that like?
I was nervous. I was exhausted because the night before, the anxiety takes over. So I don't sleep. And then I may have to drive. So that first night, the first day of my work is really exhausting. I'm working on fumes. But my first one was a Netflix movie with I can't remember anybody's name. He's gonna kill me. It was called Barry. If you ever look it up, it was about President Obama.
Barack Obama, Barry? That one?
Yeah, on Netflix. Mm-hmm.
I know that. I know that. I think it's a series or it's a movie. I can't remember.
It was a movie.
It was a movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Was Jordan? No, Jordan Peele. No, not Jordan. No. I got you. I'm sorry.
Not Jordan Peele, but it's terrible because I actually just worked with the main character again on a museum piece at the Barnes, and he played a famous artist, Black artist, and they basically how Black art got into museums because it wasn't, so it was the banter of the back and forth of the guy, Mr. Barnes, who owned the museum, and the artist, and it was interesting. But he was one of the guys who was in my first movie, which was Barry. And the first time that I seen my name in the credits, I have a little.
What was that like? I'm sure that was like, there I go right there. Look, there I go. What's that like?
They're like, he's bugging. I'm like, you gotta see it. You have to see it. My name is up on here.
Now, look, I seen the picture of you standing right next to knock at the cabin. The poster of it in the movie theater. I was like, yo, she did do this movie. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, and you also worked on another movie. What is my man's name? With the poster, the guy's holding the sword. You know what movie I'm talking about? You're gonna make me go look for it.
About Naked
You're gonna make me go look for it.
Singularity?
Yes. That's a great film. That's a great film.
Yeah.
So
my girlfriend actually headed that department, and I was a third. So normally how it goes is you'll have a person who runs the department, then you'll have a key, which is the person that's right next to them, and then you'll have a third. And the third does like hiring and stuff like that. But they still do here. I was the third on that film. But it was fun, and I got to meet a lot of people and of course still work.
Yeah, of course, right?
Yeah, of course. Definitely still had to work.
Can't forget that. Cannot forget that. I mean, you took us through, some of the movies you've done and some of the things you started and, your business, your expertise. How'd you get in the hair though? How did you get into it? Some people be like, yeah, I just like doing hair, blah, blah, blah. How did you get into it?
I just always liked it. I have no idea why. I would just play in people's hair, and my mom, she let me put a relaxer in her hair at I wasn't even a teenager yet. She let me put a relaxer, and she didn't even need a relaxer. She's mixed, but she's like, sure. She let me do it. I don't know why she had the confidence. I would never let my daughter do my hair, but at that age, but she let me. I guess she knew I had the niche for it.
Yeah, I guess she watched you enough. What'd you say?
And then from there, I went to hair school at Bach, and while I was in high school, and just got all my hours. And as soon as I came out, even while I was in school, I was doing hair. I had it lined up down the street doing finger waves. My mom, she let me do
finger waves.
I'm telling my age, but she really let me.
Yeah, finger waves.
Not like you talking about finger waves.
Yep. I was putting some finger waves in the kitchen, and I was making my little couple $. She said, "Okay, go ahead, girl."
No doubt. No doubt. Ty, go ahead, bro.
Yes. All right, Miss Shannon. An innovator is someone who comes up with a better way of doing things or doing something.
Mm-hmm.
Would that describe you?
I hope so.
Yeah.
I'm always trying to do something my way. So, I, and it possibly sometimes could be a little bit better. I think I would seem to think so. Hmm.
Now, have you ever had a client or just someone in general that came to you wanting a Baker hairstyle, and Anita Baker hairstyle just doesn't fit them? You have to tell them that. Do you go through that? They want a
All
certain
the time.
hairstyle, and it's just not right for you, lady.
They
We're
bring
gonna
they
try this
bring you they
instead.
bringing you pictures on the phone. Can you make me look like this? Like that's pretty much what they do.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I just give them some suggestions. Sometimes I'm pretty straightforward, depending on who I'm talking to. Like, girl, you know they ain't gonna look good on you. But some other people, I'll just say, hey, well, what do you think about doing it? I mean, something similar to that, but maybe putting a part over here instead of it going off your forehead, or And they're like, you think that'll look nice? I'm like, yeah, let's try it, or we could try it your way, and then we can see how this part looks too. And they're like, okay, I don't really have too many clients that are, hard to deal with. And then if I do, it just kind of doesn't work out. Everybody's not your client. So I learned that the hard way.
Now, you also mentioned you did hair at Bach High School. It was like a trade in Bach.
Yeah, it's a trade, it's a vocational school. Mhm.
So, for the most, they don't even do that no more in schools, do they? I
I
don't think
think
so.
Dobbin still does it. That's
Dobbins?
their sister school.
Right.
Um, but Bach is not even open anymore as a school. It's you can actually rent space in there, and they have the Bach bar, and they actually have salsa on the roof.
Ah, como está, mami? Sí, sí, muy
Uh-huh.
bien.
They have it. So it's gonna probably start up pretty soon since it's the spring. It's really
Okay,
good.
all right. Now, what about teaching? You got teaching in the future? Teaching classes yourself?
Um, I tend to always gravitate to the back. People think even when I'm on set, if I'm walking on, if they don't know, if they haven't looked me up, they're like, "Are you talent?" And I'm like, "No, I don't rather not be in front of the camera." So I don't know if that's something I would do. I wouldn't rule it out.
Okay.
It's just
All right,
right
JV.
now, it's probably not my focus.
Yeah, it's probably not what you should be doing right now, huh?
Huh?
Probably not what you should be doing teaching. Because I mean, I thought that it was interesting that you actually help your clients learn a lot about skincare and healthcare and how they should tools
Take care of the
to the
hair.
trade. I would say what's
That
that
part
been
is
like?
pretty easy for me. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. Go ahead.
That part is pretty easy because once I'm doing their hair, I'm kind of telling them what I'm doing as I'm doing it. If and a lot of people do come to me to grow their hair. So I'm telling them what kind of products they should use and how they should take care of their hair at night. So that way you have less breakage, or, you're trying to get your hair to grow, you need to do, maintain it. Cause I'm only doing your hair maybe once a week, maybe once every 2 weeks, so I'm only there once. So you have to do most of it. You have to do most of the work. So you have to take care of it until I see you again.
That's real. That's real.
Now, there's certain products that you always use, certain brands and products that you like. This is my brand, it's my product. I use this for my clients. Or it depends on the
Um,
client.
it does depend on the client, but I do have more recently I've been using a lot of Olaplex. That's like a treatment that builds bonds in the hair, which makes the hair stronger, which then in turn makes the hair grow because it's stronger.
What'd you say it builds? It builds what in the hair?
Bonds. So the
One
hair
more
has
time. What'd you say? It builds what?
bonds. Jimmy
Oh, that's the sample right there. Got a nice sample.
I was just playing. Go
There
ahead. I'm
you go.
sorry.
It
Go
builds
ahead.
bonds.
I'm sorry. Go
Yeah.
ahead, Ty. My fault. My fault.
No, it's totally fine. So anything that I feel like will help build that hair, because honestly, my job is really it does a lot of things to the hair negatively. So I want to be putting in and doing as much as I can to keep it healthy.
Mm-hmm.
Blow drying your hair or braiding it or all that stuff can be damaging. So you have to do as much as you can to like help where that doesn't, help where it's building more so than breaking.
I mean, Shannon, I wish I would have met you like maybe 25 years ago. I would have been I would have been in a much better situation. Much better situation. Ty, you feel me, Ty?
You'd have some finger waves going on the side right there.
Because before, bro, I was waving, bro. The ocean was up this jaw. Now it's just shining. Like, you know what I mean? But I'm gonna ask this last question. We're gonna take a break. Being a parent and being a mom, and I'm a dad, Ty's a dad. A lot of times, facilitating what it is that you do during the day, it's tough. It's not easy. How has it been for you navigating all that you do, as well as being a mom?
I had a village that helped me out. I started out. My son is. I had him really, really young. I had him while I was in high school, and I just wouldn't have been able to do it if I didn't have the help by my mom and my family that understood and realized that I probably could be way more than if they just let me flop. So they helped me out, and they still do. They're awesome. Otherwise, my kids would be like, "What are you doing? What are you doing?" But now my youngest one he's old enough to, I've taken him to New York, and he stayed with me where he can see my work. I want him to see everything I do so you can do it or not.
Yeah, that's what's up. That's what's up. I believe in that. Your kids should know what you do, and they should know how you do it and all that. I see in the edit podcast all the time, and my kids see who's on the screen. They be like, "Daddy, who that is? What you doing there, Daddy? What are you doing?" And you got to talk to them. You got to show them. You got to talk about what you're doing. So I definitely believe in that. That's what's up. That's what's up. Well, listen, Ty, we're gonna take a quick break. Remember, you can always call me with your comments or questions at 844-844-1244. Again, that's 844-844-1244. You can also email us at jimmybondspodcast@gmail.com. Again, that's jimmybondspodcast@gmail.com. It's JIMMYBONDS podcast@gmail.com. You listen to Jimmy Bond's podcast on Philadelphia Radio, the indie station for the indie nation. We'll be right back.
Hey, this is Michael from Abu Dhabi. Listen to Jimmy Bond's podcast on Everyday Fair Radio.
The drama is the illest on SLW Radio. What up?
And welcome back to Jimmy Bond's podcast on Philadelphia Radio. Remember, family, you can call us with your comments or questions at 844-844-1244. Again, that's 844-844-1244. You can also email us at jimmybondspodcast@gmail.com. Again, that's jimmybondspodcast@gmail.com. It's JIMMYBONDS podcast@gmail.com. And again, family, we're interviewing the lovely Miss Shannon White from the Salon at SLW. My apologies, family. She is definitely dropping some knowledge, dropping some bars about her expertise in the hair and makeup industry, but even furthermore about what she's done and what she's accomplished for herself. In this segment, we always ask, what do you see in the future? What's happening with Miss Shannon White 10 years from now? What do you see?
I'm hoping I'm traveling I'm traveling now, so I hope I'm really traveling even more. And I'm hoping I'm having some properties and some places that I would love to just vacation in, do hair while I'm out there. It's all the things that I'm doing now, just on a bigger scale. I would love to. Right now, I'm setting up something for Italy, so I would love to be like in Greece, doing someone's hair that's over there, and when I'm done, just heading on down to the beach and just relaxing.
Greece is beautiful. Greece is absolutely beautiful. I've never been to Italy, but I definitely been to Greece. Greece is absolutely beautiful. It's just different than the ones you would expect. Huh?
Yeah, I've been to Greece maybe 4 years ago, something like that.
Yeah, it's just a
Beautiful.
different spot. It's hot. It's just hot, but it's
And
different.
surprisingly really inexpensive. It's like
Yes.
it's just getting over there. But like the food, I think at one point I had like a whole entree of just like the food was just coming. And I think I might have spent $12
Yeah.
with wine. I was like,
It's like you sure about this? For sure. Todd, go ahead, bro.
$12, yes. Hairstyles and hair textures. Do you have a particular hair texture that you like to do? And is there one that you don't care for too much?
now when I first started out, finer textures of hair, especially with like shorter cuts, was a little difficult because you have to really make sure that hairlines and stuff like that are come into account because you can cut and that's it. It's like, okay, I'm seeing the bald spot. So all those people that trusted in me some years ago at the very beginning, love you. but definitely thicker. I mean, I like any hair. I feel like as long as it's being treated well, it does good. Now, if sometimes a client will come in for their first visit and their hair is like terrible, and I'll give it a treatment, and they're like, "Oh no, do I really need that? Do I really need a trim?" Yes, you do. You really need that, and this is why. And then once they get it, and they come back in a week or two, and it's like their hair just fluffed out. So it's really, long as you know how to work with different textures, it's fine. So I'm okay with any texture, just as long as it's healthy is my thing.
Now you also do skincare for people, correct?
I started doing more makeup the last 5-6 years because I was getting passed over a lot of jobs on TV and film. And my mentors were actually makeup artists. So I'm like, listen, I need to know. So I need to do more makeup. I felt like, now you were saying intimate. I felt like that was super intimate, and I just never really wanted to tackle it. It was like, you go in here, you're kind of always behind them. You're always shampooing them. You do get in front of them a little bit, to get style the front, but like actually being in someone's face and in their eye, and was a lot for me. But I tried it, and I actually like it. I actually like more men's grooming, to be honest. But
really.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's easy, it's guys just want their skin to be good, and there you go.
What tips do you have for the men?
Yes, what tips do you have for the men?
Moisturize. If you moisturize, if you find a good cleanser, that's great. But if you moisturize in the morning and you moisturize at night, and sometimes in the morning you'll do lighter, depending on the season. Like now, you might not have to go as heavy of a moisturizer. At night, you can go really heavy. Grease that face up and go to sleep. Wake up in the morning, you're going to be glowing. So that's really it. Not bad though. Not bad.
That's what I was saying, Tyler.
Stain on the pillow. You done. Look, my son is 12. My son is 12. He came to me like, Dad, you got any beard butter I can put on my face? My beard could grow. I'm like, wait, man, it's just if it's inside.
Try to get it to grow. Try to make sure it start coming in. I get it. I definitely get it.
Yes, but the skin creates oil. It doesn't create water. So a lot of times, if you're not moisturizing, it sounds weird. Your skin is going to overwork, and it's going to try to moisturize itself. So it's going to just only like secrete oils, and then you'll have like big pores, like especially like around your nose area, and then it just gets worse. So instead of it overworking, you want to just help it out and give it some more moisture. You can even use face oils. That does a lot. It does a lot.
Good tips, because I'm gonna be doing that. I'm gonna figure it out. I promise I'm gonna figure it out. I promise.
I will be glowing tomorrow morning.
Yes.
Yes,
I'm gonna be glowing tonight. As soon as we're done, I'm gonna be glowing. Let me try this out. Let me see how this works. I'm sorry. I'm just going on a tangent. My bad. So Shannon, I mean, you talked about the future, you talked about your craft, you talked about what you've done. Well, I want to know, like, what else is it to Shannon White besides being a hair and makeup artist? What else is it to you? Like, what else do you love to do?
I shouldn't say this on here.
Whoa, what's that? I want to know.
I was just going to say I pretty much do anything once, but that's not really true. But I'm really fine with exploring different things. So if I won't skydive, so I won't do nothing crazy like that.
That was the one thing I was just about to ask you. You took it from me, because I was like, I wonder what you skydive, because I'm not jumping on no plane either.
No. But I'm trying to think, what would I do? But what's more to me is I'm straightforward, but I'm super lovable. Like, people tend to they like me because I'm like, they're like, well, what do you think about that? And I'm like, why that I don't like that. No, like, I'll tell you that, but I'll do it with love. I'm pretty straightforward, but I will. They can come to me. They still feel secure. I'm like, well, don't feel too bad about it, but that does not work for you.
Yeah, I mean, that's go ahead, Ty, my bad.
No, I was gonna say kind criticism.
Yeah.
Exactly, kind criticism. Do you feel like people feel like, or do you think that people view what you do as an art form?
I think so.
I think they should.
I think people are. Oh, thank you. I think people are realizing that cosmetology, which is like, everybody, you're going to do hair.
Mm-hmm.
What else you going to do? You going to fall back on? Use that to fall back on. Do something else. What else you going to do? And I'm like, I'm glad that I stuck with it. I'm glad it was something I really wanted to do, and helped people understand that it is an art, and people love art and all its forms. So, and it can definitely take you some places, like on the Jimmy Bond's podcast.
Amen. Couldn't have said it any better. I mean, I'm always intrigued by how people describe you, right? Like, we get guests on, and I try to look for reviews and what people say about you and that kind of thing. And some of the people that have visited your shop have said some pretty impressive things about you. I'm sure you read it. I'm sure you might know about it, but I'm gonna read it anyway because I think it's important. So, SLW is the bomb. The professionalism at the salon is definitely respectable. Oh, definitely respected. Clean, bright atmosphere, and Shannon knows her stuff. On point with Shannon, and she has growing hands, as they say. She's gentle on her hair. She's gentle on your hair, but assertive in her method. I love the way my hair is now. How does that make you feel when you hear people kind of?
Makes me feel so good.
Yeah,
Yeah, it does. I love
that's hard work right there.
Yeah, I guess they realize that whatever I will put on them, I would definitely use on me to make sure that I'm not doing something wrong to them. Like, I really want people to walk away and feel good about themselves and about their hair.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's not just important, because particularly with I'm not just, it's not just women too, men as well. Like we want to we want something to help transform us. I think our appearance a lot of times we see ourselves every day, and not that we can get bored with it or we're tired of the way we look. It's just
Mm-hmm.
sometimes you need something else to rejuvenate you to help you see yourself in a different light. And
Right.
I feel like what you do is enhance that. Whatever they may have internally that they want to see, you bring that out of them. And that's why I feel like it's not just it's an art form. You know what I mean? It's something that you create to help people feel just different, And I mean, I know like for me, if I just go get a shape up, I'll feel 10 times better than
Right.
I did before. So I mean, with that kind of responsibility, that weight on your shoulders, how do you feel like how do you feel you manage all that? Because that's not an easy job. Like people come in like Shannon, make me look good. Like what? How do you manage that?
Sometimes I just go back to the basics. I'm looking at their shape face. I'm looking at, how their hair falls in the front, and what I can do to like make people look a little bit more youthful sometimes is always something that people are excited about, So color, and women are,
Mm,
for instance,
mm.
are always changing up their hair. I'm surprised I didn't have different color hair because normally I'm like blonde. But if they're going through a breakup like I did, they're coming in and they're cutting their hair or they're putting color in because they want to feel good. They want to just be able to look at themselves and say, okay, this is positive, a positive part of my life, and I could focus on that instead of what's going on that's negative. So I enjoy doing that for people.
I think it's important. I think it's important. I don't
Mhm.
think the hair and makeup or just hair within the black community is it's a very important aspect. It's not just about us spending money and it's not just about money in the hair industry. It's really you're changing people's lives every day. And I feel like I feel like your profession doesn't get enough respect because people just look at it as a service,
Hmm.
and not looking at it as yes, it's a business. I get it, but not looking at it as what you take on every day or what you deal with every day is a vital aspect to our sanity. If that makes any sense, you
It
know what I
does
mean?
a lot of
Be,
sense.
because I think we have. I think in a way, our community sometimes we just look at it. Oh, she just do hair. She just do makeup, and it's like, nah, it's a little bit more than that. And I want to say, if what I'm leading to is, I want to say that like I appreciate what you do. And if you never felt, I'm sure you felt value before from your clients or whatever, but from the outside, we're not clients. You know what I mean? If I
Right.
if I had a wife or ex-wife, I'd be like, yo, go see Shannon. I'm sure she can take care of you and make you feel a little bit different. Make you feel give you something different than what you're used to seeing. And that skill is not valued enough. We always look at what they always take the before picture and the after picture, but what goes on in between is super important. Is vital. Is necessary, and that's why I want to say I thank you for what you do every day on a day-to-day basis for the women you help, for the men you help, for the clients you take care of, even on the movie sets. I mean, you're setting a major example for people out there. So I really appreciate you, Shannon, just for what you do.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I was just even thinking while you were talking, like even during COVID, people were calling me like, "Do you think you can like just do my hair in the kitchen?" And I'm like, "Okay."
That's what I'm saying, right?
Like when women come in and I do their hair, they're excited. They're talking about, "Oh, my husband's gonna love this." So that does change things. They get their hair done and they're going like, "Babe, you like my hair?"
Yeah.
So I enjoy what I do. I know that it's deeper than just outer appearance. It really makes people feel good. Even I have done the crazy thing. I haven't put that on my bio, but I have done deceased people. So even for families,
Mm.
like they're like, thank you. Please, can you, if they're my clients and they're like, oh, my mom passed away. You always did her hair. Can you please do it? And I had my mom sit with me on the first one, but afterwards I was pretty good. So I just it's a lot. It's more than what people think, if they're thinking that way.
Wow. Now that's what's up. That's really. I mean, you talk. That's intimate right there, Ty. That's super intimate right there. Like, yeah, that's major. Now, see, all right, there we go. Like, that's awesome, Shannon. That's really awesome. Ty, go ahead, man. Let you kick off with the last question, bro.
Okay. Miss Shannon, years ago when I was doing some research, I came across this documentary. It was called, I think it was called Black Hair Korean Market. And they were just going into how the Koreans had just pretty much taken over the industry and how they had a hold on it. That was years ago. I want to say at least 20 years ago when I saw that documentary. Today, I'm not into the industry like that, but would you say they still have a hold on it, or are women of color starting to take back the industry for themselves?
So definitely, there that was it was at a point years ago where when the curl was out, and I'm saying curl, but I'm talking about Jerry curl, innovation curl, when people was wearing those chemicals. We had warehouses, we had where we ran the industry. People came to Black people to get their products, and it was at the time where a person just let some other people in and let them take over, and from there it's been an uphill climb, to try to get it back. And I see it happening, slowly but surely. I just found out that there was several Black beauty supply stores that have been opening that I'm really proud of. I don't know their names offhand. I wish I could shout them out. There's another guy, African guy, who just opened up a beauty supply store in Delaware County, and he's been struggling with vendors that he, uses, and the Asian culture is actually calling and saying, well, if you send product to them, that we're not going to be your client anymore. So it
That's what
has
they did in the
been like,
documentary.
yep, it has been like uphill battle, and I'm glad people are not afraid to like bust through that line and get what they deserve, because honestly, we are the ones who spend the money. We spend so much money. I mean, I worked in a salon in Rittenhouse. It was called and it's called still there. It's called Pelagia on the Square. And all white salon. I was only Black one in there. Put me right in the window for like a fishbowl, because they wanted to target the wealthier Black community that was there, to get them into their salon. And it just, I'm telling you that because of what? that's my old brain. But either way,
Oh no, that's important. That's important. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Now I want you to lose train of thought.
I've lost it. But either way, I I know, like, we spend a lot of money, and I'm just happy that I'm able to even see in my lifetime that we're trying to take it back.
Yeah.
And it's fine, like, if that's something that you want to be in and you're not in the Black culture, but at the same time, don't try to keep things that, we're working towards. Don't try to like fight us. Like, we always have to struggle to get somewhere. But
Yeah.
I'm glad to see people are, like breaking through those barriers.
Yeah. Yeah. That's critical. That's critical. Great question, Ty, because yeah, they have really tried to monopolize the industry that we build,
Yeah.
you know, and
Mhm.
you feel like, my sister does hair, so I'm always wondering, like, how do you get what you need? You know what I mean? How do you get the supplies you need? Not besides just going to the hair store, because a lot of times they want to find their own vendors. So you're right. Like, we are working slowly but surely. We are working to get that back. I definitely can agree with you there. I definitely can agree with you there.
Yeah. So if
So
I have to go to the hair store, try my best to go to a Black owned, and I just stay in the professional beauty supply store, to keep my money circulating where I want it to
yeah,
circulate.
yeah. I mean, that's exactly what it is. If you had to if you had to dedicate this podcast to somebody, who would you dedicate it to?
Oh, I guess I would dedicate it to my kids. It wouldn't be one kid. I actually have three. Um, so yeah, I would dedicate it to them. Because I love my babies. My big babies.
The big babies, they ain't little no more, huh?
You're right.
Taz, anything you want to say to Shannon before we let her go?
Miss Shannon, thank you. Keep doing what you're doing. You're positive motivation for others trying to come and do what you do.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Yes.
Oh no, the pleasure's all ours, Shannon. Shannon, is there anything you want to say before we leave?
Um, I do want to start mentoring someone. I do want to give back. So if anyone is interested in trying to get into the film industry or just do hair in the salon, I shouldn't say just, but do hair in the salon or makeup, I would love to give back to someone who maybe even has a similar story to me that started out having, a kid young and not really having too much of um, a youth but does see a career path and want to nurture that. So would love to do something like that for someone.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Well, Shannon, I could talk to you all day. I really could. But I want to say I appreciate you coming on tonight and joining us and sharing your story and talking to us about what your experiences are, not just in the hair and makeup industry, but your life experiences as well. It's not easy to share, as I always say. So I greatly appreciate it. We greatly appreciate you just coming on and share tonight. Um, I'm gonna talk to you offline because I think you got a wealth of knowledge that people need to hear and understand, and I think some people that we probably need to interview. Um, so I'm definitely gonna talk to you offline. But I met Shannon on the humble. Shannon told me what she did. I told her she needed to come on the podcast, and it's not that easy, family. Like it's not easy just to get people on the podcast. So I greatly appreciate her taking our time to come and share and even just trusting me that I wasn't some jinky leg boy talking about, yo, let me get you on the podcast because I think you'd be dope. You know what I mean? But nah, I Shannon, I really appreciate you. From the moment we met, I knew that you did something positive. I just didn't know that it was this major. That's all. Like so, when I start researching Shannon, I'm like, yo, this is crazy. But you've earned it. You've earned your stripes. Congratulations to all that you've
Thank
done.
you.
To all that you've done and keep up the good work. We're gonna keep following you. We're gonna keep tracking what you're doing. I mean, I don't know stalker stuff, but I just want to keep tracking what you're doing. And I just know that listen, you're appreciated. We appreciate you, and I'm sure your clients do as well. So much love to you, much love to your family. We're gonna make this work, all right?
All right. Thank you guys. I appreciate it. I love to
Yes,
have a
man.
good time.
Listen, we glad to have you. Remember, family, you can call us with your comments or questions at 844-844-1244. Again, it's 844-844-1244. You can also email us at jimmybondspodcast@gmail.com. Again, it's jimmybondspodcast@gmail.com. It's JIMMYBONDS podcast@gmail.com. And again, family, we're not in the COVID-19 pandemic, but we're still in a very sensitive time. So as you know, just wash your hands, wear a mask, practice social distancing when you go to these places. Just do it just because it's still out there. But I definitely want to stress, family, let's spread love, not hate. Let's spread truth, not lies. And remember to call somebody that you haven't talked to in a while. Call them and tell them that you love them because you never know when you might get another chance. I'm Jimmy Bonds, my boy Ty, Miss Shannon White from the Salon at SLW. We out. Peace.